Hey there, welcome to our video on the science of learning, how our brains absorb information. Have you ever wondered why you can remember the lyrics to a song you heard once 10 years ago, but can't remember what you had for breakfast this morning? Well, today we're going to explore the fascinating world of cognitive psychology and neuroscience to uncover the secrets of how we learn and remember things. Our brains are incredible machines capable of processing vast amounts of information. But how does this process work? What happens when we learn something new? The learning process. The learning process begins when we're exposed to new information. This information is processed by our senses, like our eyes and ears, and sent to our brains for interpretation. When we read a book, for example, our eyes send visual information to our brains, which then process and interpret the text. This information is then sent to different areas of our brains, depending on what we're reading and what we already know. Selective attention. This is known as selective attention. We focus on certain things and filter out others. This is why you might remember the plot of a movie but forget the name of one of the actors. With so much information available to us these days, it's easy to get distracted and lose focus. That's why it's important to minimize distractions and create a learning environment that's conducive to your personal preferences. For example, some people prefer to study in complete silence, while others find background noise helpful. Some people prefer to take handwritten notes, while others prefer to type them. Another important factor to consider when learning is the level of difficulty of the material. Our brains are more likely to remember things that are challenging and require effort to understand. This is known as the desirable difficulty effect. It means that we remember things better when we have to work hard to understand them. But here's the catch: there's a limit to how much we can learn and remember at once. Our brains have a limited capacity for processing information. Working memory. This is known as working memory. It's like the mental workspace where we temporarily store and manipulate information. Working memory is important for tasks like problem solving, decision making, and comprehension. But it can be easily overloaded if we try to take on too much at once. That's why it's important to break down complex information into smaller, more manageable chunks. One effective method for doing this is using flashcards. Flashcards are a great way to break down information into bite-sized pieces and test your knowledge. They also help you practice retrieving information from your memory, which can improve your ability to recall that information later on. Another important aspect of the learning process is repetition. Repetition helps to strengthen the neural connections in our brains, making it easier for us to remember information in the long term. Repetition. This is why it's important to review material multiple times and to space out your studying over time, rather than cramming everything into one session. But repetition alone isn't enough. We also need to actively engage with the material we're trying to learn. Teaching someone else is actually a very effective way to learn. It requires you to organize the information in a way that makes sense and to explain it in a way that's easy for someone else to understand. So, to recap, the learning process begins when we're exposed to new information. Our brains selectively pay attention to and interpret this information. We have a limited capacity for processing information, so it's important to break down complex material into smaller chunks. Repetition and active engagement with the material are also key to learning and remembering information. But what about technology? How does the use of technology affect the way we learn and remember things? Technology has become an integral part of our lives, and it's no surprise that it's also changing the way we learn. One of the biggest advantages of technology is the access to information it provides. With just a few clicks, we can access a wealth of information on just about any topic. Technology also allows us to personalize our learning experience. There are countless apps, websites, and programs that cater to different learning styles and preferences. Virtual reality is another emerging technology that has the potential to revolutionize the way we learn. It allows us to immerse ourselves in different environments and experiences, which can enhance our learning and retention of information. But as with anything, there are also drawbacks to using technology for learning. Drawbacks of technology. One of the most significant drawbacks is the potential for distraction. With so many apps and notifications vying for our attention, it's easy to get sidetracked and lose focus. Another issue is the reliability of information online. Not all sources are created equal, and it's essential to fact-check and verify the information before accepting it as accurate. Finally, technology can also be a barrier to human interaction and collaboration, which are important aspects of the learning process. So, what can we do to maximize the benefits of technology while minimizing the drawbacks? Tips for using technology effectively. First, it's important to set boundaries and limit your use of technology during your learning time. This means turning off notifications, closing unnecessary tabs, and focusing on the task at hand. Second, it's important to be mindful of the sources you're using and to fact-check information before accepting it as true. Third, it's important to balance the use of technology with human interaction and collaboration. This can include things like group projects, discussions, and working with a tutor or mentor. Finally, it's important to stay curious and open-minded. Learning is a lifelong process, and technology can be a powerful tool for exploration and discovery. So, what have we learned today? We've learned that learning begins when we're exposed to new information and that our brains selectively pay attention to and interpret that information. We've learned that repetition, active engagement with the material, and breaking down complex information into smaller chunks are all critical for learning and retention. We've also learned that technology can be a powerful tool for learning, but it's important to use it effectively and balance it with human interaction and collaboration. Before we wrap up, I want to encourage you to take action and apply what you've learned today to your own learning journey. Take action. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone who's curious about the world, there are always opportunities to learn and grow. So, here's my challenge to you. Pick one new thing that you want to learn or improve upon, and apply the principles we've talked about today to help you learn and retain that information. Share your progress. You can share your progress with us in the comments below or on social media. DM us on Instagram if you want. And if you want to learn more about the science of learning, there are plenty of resources available online, from books and articles to podcasts and videos. And with that, we've come to the end of our video on the science of learning, how our brains absorb information. I hope you found this information helpful and informative. Remember, learning is a lifelong process, and there's always more to discover and explore. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos on topics like this. See you next time.